Sarah here from Sarah in Wonderland, and today I am bringing you this super glam dance competition makeup video. Fun fact, I have never been a dancer. My mom was a very good dancer and I just didn't take to it. I think it is such an amazing talent and I wish I could, but it's not really me. However, I did this full coverage, not going anywhere, budge-proof dance competition makeup. So if you guys want to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. Alright guys, so I am a little bit sick right now, so I don't sound exactly like I normally do. But let's get into the video. So today we are going full glam. This makeup is not going anywhere. So to get started, I'm going to take my Makeup Forever Step 1 Nourishing Primer, and we are just going to make sure the skin is nice and moisturized, because if it's not and you have this much makeup on, you are really going to notice it. Next, to minimize any pores, I am using the Tarte Clean Slate Primer, and I'm just going to apply this where my pores are the largest, because again, the heavier makeup, you can kind of see your pores, it accentuates them more. And this just makes sure we have like a very flawless base for our makeup and that our makeup is not going to go anywhere. Also, if you get oily, this stuff is great to put on your T-zone, and that way you won't get as oily in those regions. I just keep it to around my nose and a little bit on my cheek area. I just have more dry skin. So next for foundation, the foundation that I'm using is a little bit more expensive, but honestly this stuff is amazing. It is 24-hour wear, it's like waterproof, like sweat proof, so it's not going anywhere while you are dancing. So it is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, and I'm telling you, I have worn this. It is so tried and true. It's not going anywhere at all. So if you want to invest in a foundation, this is the one. Now, when you're choosing a foundation, you also want to make sure that the foundation does not have any SPF in it, because you guys will be having flash photography and whatnot, and SPF will cause the photo to flash back and make your face have like a white cast to it. So your face will definitely be a different color than your body and just look really unnatural. So whatever you do, buy a foundation without an SPF if you're going to be having any sort of flash photography. So I'm just going to apply this all over my face, and then I'm going to use a beauty blender to blend it out. And this foundation is great because it's super full coverage. You won't see anything underneath it, and it's going to last forever. Now you also want to make sure you go over your ears so that they blend in, because your hair will most likely be tied up. And then also taking it down your neck for sure. And then when I have little to no foundation left, I'm just going to go over my lids. Alright guys, so next going in with a full coverage concealer. My favorite is the Tarte Shape Tape. And you want to get it in a shade or two even lighter than your foundation, because we're going to highlight the face with this, as well as conceal any blemishes, dark circles, anything like that. So we're going to start by doing our circles. So we are going to, I like to place a line right on the side of my nose on the inner corner, and then going down into the most hollow part of my under eye. A swipe underneath the under eye, not super close because it'll get kind of dry, and then I like to add the little flicks out, so we're making that triangular shape, as you guys can see, and then just doing the same thing with the other eye. Then I'm going to go in with my beauty blender and blend that out before it dries. You want to make sure that you look up when you're doing this and pounce out as well as pounce in, and then that way it will eliminate as much creasing as possible. Now once we have the under eye done, we are going to highlight the rest of our face with the concealer. So I am going to go around the nose to get rid of any redness, and then we are going to do a little firework on our chin, and then the Cupid's bow, we're going to do 2 lines down the center of the nose. And then again, a firework on the forehead, so coming out by the brows. I'm also going to apply some to our lids to to act as a primer, and we should be good. So again, blending that out with a beauty sponge. And then I like to go in with the big end of my beauty blender and just make sure everything is blended together and just pounce it all over my face. So next I am going to set my face. So I'm going to take a full coverage powder foundation. This is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Powder. You could also use something like a MAC Studio Fix powder. That's also another good one. And just a large powder brush, and we are going to stamp this on our face. This will lock the foundation in place as well as add a little bit of extra coverage and evenness. Then I'm going to take some translucent setting powder. So this is the Laura Mercier setting powder, and I'm going to take our beauty sponge and dip it in the loose powder, and then making sure that there's no creasing under my eyes. You want to blend that out right before you do this. Recheck, and we're going to take the powder looking up and stamping that underneath our eyes. So this will set the concealer in place as well as catch any fallout when we're doing our eyeshadow. I'm going to take a little bit of that powder as well and just set my eyelids. While that is sitting there baking, I am going to fill in my brows. So you are going to want to do your brows a little bit darker and heavier than you would normally, because again, the flash photography will pick up any sparse spots in your brows when you leave those be. So I am going to use the Anastasia Brow Wiz. You could also use a shadow color that is similar to your brow color. I just like the Brow Wiz because I know it stays in place for me. It doesn't smudge anywhere. So once you have your brows done, I like to take a clear brow gel. This is Anastasia. You could use a clear mascara from the drugstore, anything like that, and just run it through your brows so that you know they're going to stay in place exactly the way you want them all night. So moving on to eyeshadow. Today I am going to be using mostly the Shade and Light eye palette by Kat Von D. These are all matte shades. I'm going to first take a cream kind of bone white shade and set my entire lid with this. This will just highlight everything and make sure the shadow doesn't skip or anything like that, and just give a very open eye clean effect. So next, taking this neutral brown shade, this is one of my favorite eyeshadows ever, and taking a big fluffy blending brush, we are going to apply this to the crease of our eyes as our transition shade. Now you don't want to take this too high up, but enough to be seen and add a little bit of drama. Try and avoid getting this on the lid though. So next, taking a darker brown shade here, we are going to deepen up the crease. So I'm going to take a smaller blending brush, and we are just going to keep this color in the crease. Again, avoiding the lid. And next, going in with the matte black shade from the palette and an even smaller brush, we are going to put this on the outer corner of our eye. Make sure you tap off all the excess. I mean, we do have the powder to catch any fallout, but just in case. And I like to take it down at like a little bit of an angle to kind of also create a more winged out shape. And then I have a lot less product on my brush. I'm just going to very gently go in the outer crease of my eye. Just going halfway. Also, make sure you're stamping with the black shadow instead of swirling it, because you'll make a huge mess. And then taking that other brush that we went in with and just blending that out. Just very gently going over the edges of the shadow and the lid, as well as in the outer crease there. So next, I'm actually going to be taking the color that we are going to be using as our highlighter, and I'm going to also use it as the lid shade today. So I'm using the Becca highlighter in the shade Opal. And as you can see, our lid is already nice and bright and matte from the shadow that we laid down initially. So I'm just going to take a brush and pack this on the inner portion of the eye. And this is just like a nice champagne color if you don't have this highlighter or you want to use something from your collection. Just something bright and champagne will work great. Focusing most of the product on the very inner corner, and then when you have less, just kind of fluffing it into the black. Take a big fluffy long brush and just flick all the bake off now. Our concealer is nice and set in place. Okay, and then for everybody's favorite part of the makeup routine, we are going to apply a cut liner. So I'm using the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Liner. This stuff doesn't go anywhere, which is exactly why I'm telling you to use it. Sweat, tears, whatever you got, throw it this guy's way. It's not going anywhere. So to create my wing, I like to go from the outer corner of my eye to the corner of my brow, and then swoop that guy inwards. So now that we have our wings, I'm just going to go back in with a little bit more black shadow and just stamp it on the outer corner where the wing and the shadow meet, just to re-deepen it up a little bit. I'm going to take some black liner. I'm going to apply this to my upper lash line. This just makes your lash line look a little bit fuller and then just ensures that your falsies are perfectly blended. Bronze up the face. It's looking a little pale. So first I'm going to go in with my NARS Laguna bronzer. I'm going to be using matte bronzers for this look today. We are going to bronze up the face. So best way to do this, suck in your cheekbones and you're going to connect your ear to the outer corner of your mouth, and I don't go any farther than the outer corner of my eye. It's a lot easier than what it sounds like. So I like to lay the color down. And then afterwards, I'll go in with little swirling motions and blend the product upwards. Don't want to blend it down, because if you blend it down, you're going to bring your cheekbones down, and it'll create a very funny kind of sunken in shape. Temples. Again, getting right back into the hairline. And then again, I place the product and I go in with swirling motions. Also want to bronze your jawline. And you do want to apply a little bit more bronzer than you normally would, because the stage lights will wash you out. So just keep building up. You'll use a little bit more than normal. Don't forget to bring it down your neck though as well. Like I said, jawline. And if you're finding that you're having a lot of harsh lines, you can take the brush that you use with your powder foundation and blend it out using that, because there will be a little bit of leftover product to help blend that into the foundation powder that you already have on. As well, it'll just distribute the product really nicely. Taking my loose translucent powder again and our sponge that we used, I'm just going to take a little bit more of that translucent powder, and I'm going to suck in the cheekbone and just kind of carve out that bronzer. So I'll just leave that on there while we do our blush and highlight, and then we'll wipe that off. For blush, I'm taking MAC Peaches. This is just a really pretty flush of color. So you want to smile, stamp it on the apples of your cheeks, and again, you are going to want to apply a little bit more than you usually would, because bronzer and blush will A, get washed out by the lights, but B, is also the thing that wears off the fastest on your face. And then when I have less product on my brush, I take it upwards and back into the bronzer. And then for highlight, like I said, we are using Becca Opal. And to highlight, I'm actually going to be using my sponge again, the same sponge that we've been using all day. I'm going to press off the excess on the back of my hand, and then gently press this on the cheekbone. And then just for a little bit more of a focused highlight, I'm going to go in with my brush, and just on the very highest parts of my cheekbones, I am going to apply it there. Just to the very highest parts with the brush, and it'll add that extra I'm also going to apply this over the Cupid's bow. And then we are going to apply our lashes now before we move on to the last final steps. So I am using a very full set of lashes. I'm going in with the Danny Beauty Luxe lashes, and these are in the style Sauvage. You can see these are very dark, very fluffy, very long, very voluminous, high drama, high impact. And we're also going to dust that bake off because I forgot that I had that on there. So now I have already used these lashes before, so they are cut and trimmed to the size that I need them to be. Make sure you cut your lashes because that is what's going to make them the most uncomfortable if they don't fit your eyes properly. If you guys want a more in-depth video on how to apply false lashes, I have a video dedicated to that. So I will link it in the down bar. Alright guys, so we are back with some very dramatic lashes on. So we are going to finish up the lower lash line. So I'm going to take a small smoky kind of smudger brush, and the initial shade that we used in the crease, which was this light medium brown shade, and we are going to apply this under the eyes. And this color will be brought down the farthest. And then going back in with the second shade that we used in the crease, the other dark brown shade, I'm going to keep this closer to the lower lash line. And then taking a flat brush and a little bit of black eyeshadow, we are going to pack that right along the lower lash line where the waterline and the lower lash line meet. Alright, and then to complete the eyes, I am going to go back in with the same highlighter that we've used the entire time. And I'm just going to pack some of that on the inner corner. Just right up in here to brighten this guy up. And then I'm going to go in with a nude pencil liner. And I like to apply this to the waterline because, again, like I said, we did add a lot of dark shadows, and this will just also open up the eyes. As well, the lashes are very bold and dark, so it closes off the eye a little bit. So we'll still have the drama from the dark colors, but our eye will appear a little bit more open. You could also use a white liner for this. I just think nude looks a little bit more natural. And then lastly, to complete the look would be the lip color. I know you guys can choose a variety of lip colors. It depends on your costume, etc., etc. But for the most part, it is a red lip. My recommendation is to go with a liquid lipstick. This is not going to budge, smudge. This is my favorite red lip. This is the Sephora Cream Lip Stain in the shade 01 Always On Red. I love this. It's my favorite lip color. It's going to make your teeth look a lot whiter because it is a blue-based red. I do go in with a lip liner just to kind of make a guideline of my lip shape. And then going in with my liquid lip, you want to apply a thin layer. Alright guys, and two last steps for your makeup. One, take your liquid liner and go back over your lash line, over the false lashes that you applied. Sometimes the glue, although it is clear, will dry with a little bit of a shine to it, and it is really visible in pictures. So just look down and apply some more black liner over that lash line. You might not think that you're doing anything, but it'll end up making a really big difference. And then for your very last step, once you are happy with how all your makeup looks, you're going to take a setting spray, and this is an absolute must step. And you're going to shake it up. Going to spritz half your face with your eyes closed and your face relaxed as possible. You don't want it to set in any creases or fine lines. And then I like to take a little card of any sort and fan my face till it's dry. I know it seems really extra, but you know your makeup isn't going anywhere. Alright, and this is the finished makeup look, guys. So this is your budge-proof, super glam, not going anywhere through whatever type of dance you might be doing look. I hope you guys enjoy this, and let me know in the comments if this works out for you. And make sure that if you liked this video, subscribe so you can see more videos from me. As well, you can hit that notification button, that little bell down there, and be notified when I post a video. And I will see you all again very soon. Bye everyone.